Okay, thank you, Brooke. Good morning to everybody. Again, Jeff Bruenig with Community Development Resources. I'm here with Doris Miller, who is also with our office, who you were all acquainted with. And also we have Jane Hardesty, who was on another teleconference call that pertains to the COVID-19 outbreak. First of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to the group this morning. I'm going to start off with just still going over some of the things that we do at CDR. And our main function here is working with the SBA on whether it be a microloan, SBA 504 loan, and also technical assistance, business consulting for small businesses. Again, we have been working with our major loan function is with the small businesses through the micro loan program, which again is loans that go up to $50,000, maximum of 6 years, with a competitive interest rate. Again, for small businesses within the state of Nebraska, the majority of our loans are obviously with the Lincoln and the surrounding area, but we do have several loans outside of Lincoln. The 504 loan program is a loan program that is offered to commercial borrowers for the purpose of purchasing commercial real estate. We work with the SBA on those loans. And again, that is for commercial borrowers to either purchase the property they're currently leasing or to purchase a new building or construct a new building. So again, those are a couple of the things. And on our technical assistance side, we work with businesses with their business plans. We work with established businesses to see how they can be more efficient, maximize their profitability if we can help through, again, review of their existing business situation, the existing business plans, and again, offer advice and assistance any way we can. Currently, as we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has created several programs out, for small businesses. I want to make it, as much as I hate to say it, but we do not provide those programs directly here. In other words, we can't take the applications for the EIDL loans or for the payroll protection plan or for the CARES Act. We cannot do that. Those still have to go through your bank and your bank representative to make those applications to the SBA for that assistance. We can, if you call in, to give you advice on where to go. But again, we here do not have any direct, not control, but we don't make any of those applications, and we do not forward them directly to the SBA. As Doris has mentioned, though, because of the overload that we have that the SBA has currently with all of the applicants, it is a situation where we, as an SBA provider of loans here, we may be asked to help with the program administration and doing the applications through us, and we can forward them on. One thing I do have to mention is it was on the news this morning, et cetera, that the payroll protection, I believe it is, and is it? It is the EIDL loan, pardon me, is almost out of money.
It is out of money.
Is it now? It's totally out of money, and so they've gone ahead and applied for additional funding, but at this point, there is no funds available in that particular loan category at this time. And so again, until further notice, they don't want, you can't even make an application for that loan until further notice. And so again, we'll, as we find things out, we'll put it out on our website, because we do have at our website, we have been trying to keep people up to date on what is happening, with the COVID-19, and again, the programs that are available. One of the things that, which again, we're still taking applications here for the micro loans and the 504 loans. It's just being done via phone. And so if a borrower feels, that they need some assistance and we can go ahead and assist them, we will do applications over the phone or via email. And again, work with these borrowers to see if there's something that we can do to help on that. One of the nice things about the relief program for the micro loan borrowers at this time is the SBA is paying the next 6 months payments. All the loans that we currently have, as of the 27th of March, all the loans we have, for the next 6 months, the SBA on the micro loans will be making the next 6 months payments on those loans, minus the ones that are past due a certain amount. So, but for the majority of our borrowers, the SBA is going to be making the next 6 months payments on their loans, which should give them a nice relief for that. And let me be clear here. If somebody does take a loan out through the next 6 months, and a qualified borrower has all the everything that they need in place, and if the loan is approved, the SBA will make the first 6 months payments on that loan. And so that's a good situation, a good advantage for the borrowers going forward on that type of loan. Again, we're welcoming anybody to call us at any time, and we're welcoming people to call us over the phone. Our lobby is closed right now, so we're not allowing anybody in. But again, we can take applications via the phone, and we can work via the internet and email and back and forth for the information to come back and forth between the prospective borrower and ourselves. Right now, I do have several loan applications I am reviewing. And so again, please feel free to contact us during this time, because we will try to do the best we can to make it available, to make the loans available to potential borrowers. Doris, do you have anything?
Not really, Jeff.
Okay.
I just want to repeat that, if you call in, we'll do our best to point you in the right direction for whatever you need at this point. We are not doing anything with the PPP or the idle loans. I know what I do wanted to add, the Paycheck Protection Program. That program is getting extremely low on funds, but they are still taking applications. That application must be taken through a bank or SBA 7A lender. So,
And some of the banks in town here that we've been getting very positive reports on, Union Bank is doing a very good job of providing their borrowers and people that requesting assistance, have done a very good job in working with their again, the people that are requesting help through their bank. They've done a good job in making themselves available to assist them through this process.
I've heard good things about Cornhusker Bank as
I'm sorry,
well.
yes, Cornhusker Bank. Can't forget them. And so, from a standpoint of what we do at CDR, I think that is a pretty much of a quick rundown of the things we do. Again, one of the things that we like to think is vital to small businesses, startup and existing, is the technical assistance aspect of coming in when you go to the bank or when you come to CDR. Know what they're going to ask for. Have a good business plan in place. Have everything in place that the bank's going to want to see, or that we're going to want, because we're going to want to see the same as what the bank's going to want to see. And so again, good business plan that goes ahead and talks about your niche market, who you're trying to attract. Your projections are very important in terms of the financial projections, what you think your business can do over the next, let's use 3-year period. 3 to 5 year wouldn't hurt, but 3 years we'll accept that again. So we can take a look and find out what we can do and how well prepared the person is to become self-employed and have and open a small business going forward. That's part of the technical assistance. And so anytime we have somebody come in, the first question they ask is, a lot of times, they ask us questions, and the first thing we say is, have you done a business plan? And in order for them to say yes or no, because again, that is the most important part of a loan application, from the very start is the business plan with the projections, et cetera. And again, then we hope to help them decide maybe what is the best business structure to have, whether it be sole proprietorship, whether it be LLC, whether it be S Corp or just regular Corp. So we try to assist in all of those particular aspects of your startup business or your existing business. We're always here to help. We enjoy the fact that, again, that you've given us a chance or an opportunity here this morning, Brooke, to visit with your group. And I guess at this point, Doris and I are open to any questions anybody may have regarding anything that we do or things that we can assist you with as we move forward.
And this is Steve. I was able to finally join. I
Hi,
don't know
Steve.
why my video is not working, but that's okay. If you have questions, please enter them in the chat feature, or I will unmute here in a minute and you can ask your questions directly of Jeff or his team. So I'm going to unmute you all, and if you have questions, shout them out.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Any questions for Jeff?
Jeff, on the loan that you mentioned that the SBA would pay the first 6 months, is that just a loan that people will have to pay back at the end of their term, or is that actually them paying?
Well, it's a loan. Yes, it'll be amortized. You'll pay it back. But for the first 6 months, payments will be made by the SBA. But
Okay.
after 6 months will be then put back on automatic or ACH automatic withdrawal from your account. And again, it will require payment until the maturity of the loan, which can be up to 6 years.
Okay, thanks.
And those 6 months of payments are, at this point, they're saying that they will not count as income to the business, and you will not have to pay income tax on any of that money either.
Okay.
And one thing I want to make clear on that is that 6 months of payments does not prohibit you from applying for other SBA type loans, whether it be CARE Act, and if they get something going again, you know, on the EIDL Act and that. This is completely separate of all of those loan programs.
Other questions? Come on, let's stump him.
Won't take much.
I'll ask a question about business plans.
Yes.
When people bring their business plans, what's typically the part that they struggle with the most?
Oh, the part they struggle with the most is if it's a startup.
Yeah.
Obviously, the part they struggle with the most is putting a projection together, because the first thing that's, I know what to project if I've never started my business yet. Well, that's the part that that I really have to say is the most important part. And so it makes that prospective business owner or the person that's going to open a business sit down and truly put some thought into again, who their target market is, the area they're wanting to penetrate as far as their business goes. But again, it's a time for them to put the thought into how can their business generate in the first year and subsequent years 2 and 3, what they're going to be. Again, those are the things that make a business successful, because I've always said, you know, what at CDR, we always say that's your roadmap to success. If for some reason after year 1, you know, you're not doing what you hoped you were going to do or the like, then we go back to the business plan and say, well, here, projections, have we underpriced the product? Have we overstated our expenses? I mean, the business plan is the, you know, is what I've always felt in all my years of being in banking and with CDR. That's the most important thing that we want to look at. And you know, Doris makes a good point here. You know, Nebraska Business Development Company here in Lincoln will help small businesses with their projections and business plan. We can look at a projections and a business plan. We will sit down with you and say, do you really feel that these are achievable numbers, achievable goals with your business. So therefore, we'll certainly sit down and visit with you regarding that with your business. So again, though, the business plan, the projections, et cetera, are very important for us to look at, because without them, we have no basis to judge a loan on.
Okay.
Excellent. Go ahead, John.
Through community development resources, and I'm working with a gentleman who's considering a startup, and I know there's classes at SCC. Is there a recommended outline of a business plan that they can access so they can start putting that together and then bring it for review?
What kind of business is he looking to start?
A type of coaching business.
A,
Probably going to be an LLC.
and will be a coaching business?
Yes.
Okay, on that, again, probably NBDC would be somebody he could talk to on that. Again, they can point you in the right direction. There may be a place online that you can go to get an outline of that business plan and what's needed on it. Again, because you're talking a varied field here, coaching, that's again, service related, et cetera. And so again, it's again, he'll have probably a difficult time probably finding comparables for which he can base some of those projections on, but he still should be able to have access to information that can help him start that.
And let me chime in there too. NBDC does have a business plan outline that we pass out to people liberally. And NBDC also has access to a lot of databases where you can get comparable information in your market area to put in your business plan. So they are a very good resource for that. And maybe Quentin can chime in there. It looks like he's broadcasting from the Oval Office today, but maybe Quentin can tell us a little bit more about what NBDC can do as far as business planning. Quentin, you're on mute.
Unmute.
There we go.
There you go.
It wouldn't unmute by me. Anyway, no, Craig Besh, the Small Business Development Director here in Lincoln, can assist you with that. And he's on UNL's campus. Yeah, I really don't assist with those, but he certainly can get you in line. I don't know what he has available.
Thanks.
With that, Steve, you used to head that up, so you probably know more about it than I.
Yep.
I know that.
If people want to contact us, we can certainly give them the outline, and then we can give them the contact information for Craig. We'll also review business plans for people and give them feedback, but we do not write them.
That is one thing, and that's a good point, Steve. When people go to NBDC or wherever they go, the first thing I ask, is that they do not have NBDC or that write the plan for them, because it's then they've learned nothing from it, the potential business owner. This business plan has to be their business plan.
They got one. Yeah.
NBDC can assist them, but it's got to be their business plan.
Steve, I'll reach out to you offline and talk about it.
That'd be fine, John. Any other questions for Jeff and his team?
I wouldn't mind throwing a question out there. I'm curious if you guys have worked with any crisis-related startups, like maybe mask makers or something like that.
No, we have not at this point. Although that would be a nice situation if, and I'd be happy to tell you we have, but we have not at this point.
What
Okay.
about you, Quentin? Have you done any crisis related contracts? Oh,
Go ahead.
I have not worked with any. There have been some other counselors do have businesses that are already up and running in that area. They've had some contact them asking about getting in, but if you're not registered to do business with the government right now, that's about a month-long process. So it's not quick. So if you're not already registered to do business with the federal government, it's a little bit difficult to get in quickly and to just start up and get it going anew. What they're finding out is like, the mask making. Um, if you're not up and running with production, you're not going to get up and running in production fast enough to really supply the government.
Okay, anybody else with questions? If not, hoist those coffee mugs up and let's see who has the most creative coffee mug this week.
I vote for Doris.
Doris is rocking the Focus Suites coffee mug. That's great. Love to see that. Oh, wait, Kelsey Van Patten. That looks interesting. I don't know if we can. Maybe I'm going to have to mute your video, though. I don't know if that's PG-13 or not. Let's see. Tycho's got a good one.
So it's bar one.
Okay, Doug. I'm still upset at your comment at me last week, Doug, so you're out. Let's see. Well, we may have to give it to Kelsey Van Patten this week, I think. So the winner this week is Kelsey Van Patten, and let me make note of that. All right.
And also, Steve, I believe you have our information, contact information at your office. If somebody needs to get hold of CDR again, please always feel free. We have the names, myself, Doris, and Jane. You can contact any one of us. More than happy to answer any questions that we can answer. Some questions we can't answer, but we'll be more than happy to answer the ones we certainly can.
I appreciate that. And Jeff, I know you're probably not taking in-person appointments now, but where are your offices located?
We're located on 70th and Vine Street in the Meadow Lane Shopping Center. As you pull in here, there's the Ace Hardware Center, but there's a daycare center here, a learning daycare center, and we're located right above it. We have a sign outside on our awning, plus we have a digital sign on the street, that talks about all that advertises all that's here. And so we're more than happy to again take any questions and answer any questions and help in any way we can during this time.
Okay, I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you. Also want to thank CDR. They have been a great sponsor of our coffee for the last few years, and they pay for our Canyon Coffee Roasters coffee. And I hope you're all enjoying a cup of that at home right now. Also want to point out next week's coffee. Our speaker next week will be Steve Molly with Molly Marketing. Steve is a Focus Suite alumni. He's got a great marketing firm established. They do a lot of work around the state, and I know he's done a lot of special work now, working with small businesses and in trying to cope with the current business conditions. So hope you'll join us next week. Steve is always entertaining, and I don't think he'd mind if I called him a character. And so I think you'll enjoy it. So please join us next week at 10 o'clock.
Just don't ask him to repeat his core values because this is a PG group.
That's a good point. I have seen those posted on his wall, and it's
So
probably
have I.
yeah, it's probably best that we don't have him repeat that out loud. But hopefully you'll all join us next week. You're unmuted, or I will unmute you all again. If you want to talk with each other or ask questions of each other, we'll try that for a few minutes. If not, we'll see you next week, and thank you for joining us this week. Brooke, did I forget anything?
Nope, I think you're good.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
It's Kelsey. I just wanted to let everybody know we have one more legal basics session open for the 22nd at 4:30. All of our other spots got filled up, but if you know someone who needs brief legal advice for entity formation stuff, intellectual property stuff, I don't know how much stuff we're doing COVID related, but I think some questions will be addressed. If you have basic questions about stuff like that, the students can research them. But yeah, we have one more appointment left. We're looking to get it filled here shortly. So if anyone wants the link to that, I can provide it so you can kind of look at what issues we have, but yeah.
And if any,
Kelsey,
Kelsey, or
can you send me that link?
Yep, I just sent it to the whole group.
Okay, thank you.
Oh wait, I went to just Steve, but I'll send it to everybody real quick.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
yeah, Kelsey is with the UNL Legal Clinic, the Weibling Center. They do wonderful work for startup businesses. So if you do have any legal questions, and you can't afford an attorney at this point, this is a wonderful opportunity to meet with a student attorney and a practicing attorney and get your questions answered. So jump on that opportunity if you need it. Any other feedback from anybody?
Hey, Steve, this is Eliza. I did have a question for the group, if that's okay.
Yes.
So my question is, I know most of you are probably aware the CARES Act now allows for business owners to apply for unemployment, which I think is a group a lot of us are in. So I'd love to do this, but I'm having a really hard time figuring out how you do that as a business owner. I've actually applied through the normal channels, but it's clearly not set up for people like us. Does anybody know where to go to do this?
Jeff, do you have any feedback there? Is she better off going to a bank and getting that done, or?
I would say go to the state, has she contacted the state labor
Oh,
department?
yeah. I mean, you can't get through by phone, obviously, but I've looked through all their information. There doesn't seem to be any vehicles set up for it. And while they've told us we do qualify for unemployment benefits as business owners and independent contractors, actually getting it or applying for it is impossible.
That's the stop point. Well, is it because so many have applied for it right now? They're so backed up?
Not really that. It's just that, normally we can't, obviously, because we don't pay into the unemployment system. So the systems aren't set up, the questions aren't set up to really apply to us. So I applied through the normal system, but I had to put notes basically everywhere explaining my situation and saying I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
I'm just curious if anybody has found a route or anything that is actually, for us.
Steve, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
I think she's done the right things. I mean, unfortunately, it's just, one of those where, like it was just mentioned, as a sole proprietor, they're not usually set up for unemployment. And so this is for everybody in this. And again, I do think you're doing the right things. I wish I could give you a more definitive answer than that, though.
Well, yeah, legally, I don't want to do anything wrong. That's why I put notes all over my application explaining the situation, but I didn't know what else to do.
I think you've done the right thing, Eliza. We have another client who has applied for it. They just went through the normal channels. Not every question was applicable, so they just had to make notes, but got their first payment yesterday. So
well, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good there.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Any other questions for the group? If not, thank you all so much for attending today, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Remember that the center is open for business, so if you have questions, please reach out to us by email or by phone. We are still here to serve your business needs and help any way we can. So have a good week, stay well, and hopefully you'll see us again next Thursday.
Thank you, Steve and Brooke, and thanks to all of you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Have a great day, everybody.
Take care.
Yeah.